Aloha everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a card game that I've been working on throughout the semester. I've given it the working title Rumble. Rumble comes from games that were inspired me, such as Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a competitive card game that is basically revolving around one-on-one battles, but can be applied to more. I'm going to be walking us through what a typical 1v1 game would look like. Since I'm by myself, I can't actually give you a real raw demo, but I can break down gameplay through a simulated one. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it so we can get on with the show. So in front of me, we're going to pretend that the opponent is already selected their cards and they place it down. So the way the game would start is you would go through your deck. You would pick 4 level 1 cards before the game even starts. You choose the 4 you want. Okay, let's say I want this. The person can't see it. They only just see the card sleeves. And we would then post up the the hider, or I don't know what to really call it at the moment. But something like this. It obstructs the opponent's side of the field. Now the person can't see what cards I have over here and the way I put them, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to lay it flat just to help with the simulation of like, we can't see what they do at all, okay? So I play my 4 level 1 cards. The card game is based off of a 4 level system. So that means level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the way you would upgrade these cards to get to the other levels is with simple math. So 2 level 1s make a level 2. A level 3 can be a level 2 and a 1, or 2 level 3s. And vice versa if you want to work your way down. Yes, that is a thing, but we'll get more into that later. So the game the game started. We've picked our level 4s. We placed them where we want, obviously, with or not obvious, but there is only 4 fighter slots on the field, so you can only have at max 4 fighters at once. And in the beginning of the game, we started off with them all filled out. So here's all of 4 level 1s. We would draw 5 cards. Let's just say that's 5. Okay, OCD. Now it's 5. So we have our 5 cards, and uh, part of the beginning of the game is you can already begin to um, boost the fighter cards or um, move them around. So let's say if I place them here, maybe I would want to then change it to moving it around like that per se. Keep my opponent on their toes. The other cards that you can play in this game are area cards, enhance cards, ability cards, effect cards, and special cards. Those are the only 5 other cards you can play besides fighter cards. So, breaking them down. Let's area cards go directly in the middle and can be overtopped at any time. So, whenever we break away from the reveal and it's our turns. If you want to play a field card during the reveal, you would then play your field card. The field card would take effect, and then the damage would be calculated. The other cards that I mentioned, the abilities, effects, enhancements, and then lastly, specials. So in order to summon a special card, you actually have to sacrifice these buffs. So if you wanted, let's say you had a special that requires 2 buff cards. So if you had one card that had all 3 buffs, you would take away 2 and then put on a special. I guess this way would be more cohesive. One card goes on top, and the enhancement card or the buff card will be placed at the bottom. The special cards are like just like a buff card, but they're permanent, and they typically will do something very impressive. Um, like let's say wipe out a whole enemy field on one turn, or pay 10 life to do what I just said. Things something like that, where there's various levels of scrutiny and extreme to the player and how that situation would roll out. So we're still on level one. I know I just kind of showed you other cards too, but that was all part of it. So first turn that happened, and now we would reveal. So taking away the visual obstruction. This is the turn. Here's the cards, and then they would go straight over, straight across. It's always straight across, unless specified otherwise. So, the fight is concluded. It goes straight away. Damage is deducted from life points and monster cards. The interesting thing about Rumble though is that knockout method I was talking about. So cards don't just die when they take rollover damage; they get concussed. So if a card is, let's say, 1-1 and this is 2-2, it would hit this card and essentially wipe it out, but it would be 0-0 for one turn. It'd be concussed. And so then the obstruction would come again, the cards would move, same with these cards, and then when the turn is concluded, comes back, and we go again. Let's say this concussed card was still there, and this 2-2 hit the 0-0, and now it would be out of the field and gone away. But I believe that this card game is unique because it still um, maintains old game designs, but implies these but still utilizes new game designs from other games. I like to think of this visual obstruction that I used in this game kind of like Battleship. By now having the choice of giving importance to the location of the fighters in the field adds a whole new dynamic to the game that I feel that is refreshing. And with knockouts in place, now there's more urgency to that card and strategy in using a concussed card to move it so that way it could possibly be taken out or used as bait, in fact, to damage another card. Part of players taking damage with this concussed method or knockout method is, let's say I was on the losing end and I had no cards, and whenever the visual obstruction would happen, I would be moving for dear life, but that doesn't really matter. Even though I'm moving for dear life, trying to fake my opponent out so they won't kill my last monster. When the visual obstruction is gone, the damage still goes through all the way, leaving you, the opponent, once your life points hit zero, you are concussed now, which makes things a lot more interesting when there's only two cards left on the field, and now you have to guess which way you can defend yourself. So that's kind of it. That's basically what I've come up with Rumble. I've thought of more designs for the cards in this game. Um, to give you an idea, I spoke heavily on things like themes. Well, art-wise, yes, of course, themes are important, but I wanted these themes to their atmospheres to also explain their methods of playing. So, just thinking on top of my head for this example that's right in front of us, this koala, or excuse me, not a koala, a sloth. This sloth, um, very slow kind of card, right? Very slow creature. Um, they would produce more slows or a slow uh, debuff onto these cards, making them unable to switch places during those obstruction periods or those intermission periods. But that's just one thing to talk about for the themes and how that translates to game design and its designing of the cards in conjunction with the themes. That's all I have. If you got any questions, please let me know. Thank you.